Guys, welcome to Bakitech YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about things to do to prevent your computer from being hacked. So in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on things to implement, things to avoid to stop your computer from being hacked. But today, I'm going to talk first about firewall. The question is, what is firewall? Alright, if you take a look at an example, this is a perfect example of a firewall. I saw this picture on Google, so I decided to use this as an example to explain what a firewall is. If you hear the word firewall, you've already gotten an inspiration of what firewall is. So this is it. Let's say this is an attacker, right? This is an attacker. This is a firewall. This is your computer, which is your private network. So what attacker does is this: when your computer or your PC or whatever you use does not have a firewall, there are 90% chances that attacker can have access to your firewall. And to implement this firewall, it will safeguard your system from attacks, from external attacks or internal attack or whatsoever the attack is coming from. So that is what this firewall does. It's just like back back in the olden days, let me just say back in the PC, where they use war to cover their land or to cover their kingdom, building a wall around the castle to prevent attacker from getting into it. So that is what actually firewall is. And that is what firewall does. So if, for example, this is your computer, you have no firewall, there are chances that attacker might get into your system, compromise your system, and cause all the damage that they can do to your system. If you are working for a company or whatever place you are working for, or you have a private network, your account will be compromised. So that is the advantages of having this firewall. And most Windows system all comes with firewall. So that is it. Number two is how to know if my firewall is turned on on my computer. So, I did not spell it completely. So now we have described what is firewall. No, two is how to know if my firewall is turned on my computer. So if you are not into IT or whatsoever, you might actually find this video really helpful. So now I'm going to give you a practical example of how you can know if your computer has a firewall. So now all you have to do is so now this is an example of a firewall. If you click on your settings on your computers and then search firewall, uh, the first write up that pops up on your screen will give you this screen. So now what this actually does is it says turn Windows Defender firewall on and off. So it said customize settings for each type of network. You can modify the firewall settings for each type of network that you use. Number one, it said turn on Windows Defender firewall. Block all incoming connection, include those in the list of attacker. E say turn off Windows Defender firewall. Then at the end, e give us not recommended. So what Windows is trying to tell you is that if you decide to turn this off, anything might happen to your system. I'm not saying just because you turn it off that your system is hacked, but there are chances that your system might be hacked. So let me decide to turn this off. For example, turn it off, turn this off. Then if I then I came to then I visit my Windows security and it says okay, domain network firewall is on. If I click on it, Microsoft Defender firewall help you protect your device. Well, that network is this. You see, I get a notification. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? When I click on yes, my firewall will be turned on, will be turned off. You see, my firewall is turned off. So right now, my computer is very vulnerable to attack. He said, Windows firewall is turned off. Tap to click on to turn on. So there are chances that my Windows might get attacked. So if, for example, I decide to click on the link, I won't do that on the. I'm not going to do that on this video. If I decide to click a link or a file, especially an exe file, there are chances that my Windows will be compromised. I'm not going to give example of that in this video because that would be too complicated for beginners. I mean, for people that are not into IT, this is just a basic knowledge. So now, if I decide to turn it on, my system is back. But just because my system is back, that does not mean oh, that it is impossible for my system not to be hacked. But this is just one of the example how your system are not going to be, how to prevent your system from being hacked. So now I'm going to move over to the next step. So now number two, oh sorry, number three is how your account are going things to also prevent is number three, connecting to unknown network, especially Wi-Fi. This is also another way that your account can also be that your computer can also be compromised. Example, when connecting to a public network, maybe in an hotel, cafe or whatsoever, this can also, these are also things to prevent. I'm not saying don't connect to cafe, but just be careful when connecting to, a public Wi-Fi or public Wi-Fi and the other. So now, let me give you an example of what I mean. Now, when most people hear the word free Wi-Fi, the first thing that comes to mind, oh my God, I'm going to have access to free Wi-Fi. I'm going to browse. I'm going to do this. But when you have access to a free Wi-Fi, there are chances that attackers can also have access to the same Wi-Fi, and your device can be compromised. There's a tool I actually use in my system. I'm not going to show it, but this tool can it bring out all the information of all devices that are connected to a Wi-Fi, IP address, name of device, and all of that. So people that are into cybersecurity will know what it is. So this can give attacker information about you, and you can be hacked. Number four from this list I'm giving is clicking phishing link. This is very common. Most times, most of this phishing link can be sent to your email. What this does is actually that attacker there are some software programs that they use whereby they hide the virus in your computer system. I mean, hide the virus in an image or a file or whatsoever method they are using. Then they can send this information to your Gmail. Then when you click on it, your account can be compromised. So what they do is they look for a way to you know create a virus that can bypass Windows firewall. Like I said before, just because you turn on firewall, that does not mean that your system is safe. You can still be compromised. But doing all of this will prevent you. So now clicking phishing link. Like I said, clicking phishing link. This type of attack can be sent to your email. One can be sent to anywhere. Most attackers disguise this under something like they use how will I put it? You know, it's like wolf with sheep clothes. So they give you something flashy, then when you click on it, you are doomed. Let's say, for example, you see an email address sent to you telling you have won iPhone 16, iPhone 15, then you'll be like, wow, this is great. So they can also use this method to have access to your system. And also downloading, this will be the last, is actually also a phishing attack. downloading files on the media, downloading file on the internet. This is very common, downloading file on the internet. If you are trying to download a game or whatsoever, blah blah blah, or anything you have to download, most times there are also a virus that can also affect your computer. I don't know if you have noticed it, but anytime you are trying to install a software or any program, Windows always ask you a question telling you that this program might hurt your computer system. What that's actually trying to do is give you a warning. So this is actually another way attacker can get access. So I just can't keep naming all of them. There are so many. But these four ways will give you a good foundational knowledge on how to prevent this from, happening. But last but not the least is people using operating system like Linux. People who use operating system like Linux cannot, they can be hacked, but it is very difficult because Linux system is built from Windows system. So if you don't know too much about computers, you might not know what I mean. But if you are using a window computer, because window is what most individuals use, families and everybody use. So these are the things to avoid. So I hope you find this video helpful. I just decided to upload some cool videos today. Today is Saturday. Let's see what's happening. So I hope you find this helpful. I'll see you next time. Have a great weekend and Merry Christmas. It's actually a few days from now. Sayonara.